So, into the gist of today, right? US customer service. Is it fantastic or are we just really, really shit? Now, I'd love you guys to get involved, join in, engage, hear your thoughts on all of this because it's something that's been in my head for a while. And today we're going to really explore it. And that is that I actually think that it's somewhere down the middle that US customer service is actually really, really good. And we are really, really shit at it. So why do I think that? Well, some of you know, my family are transatlantic. So I've got half a family live in the United States. I live in Houston and the rest of us live here. And when my mom comes over from the US to the UK, it's always with great, excitement. I'm really looking forward to seeing her, but also knowing that, she will have a good time, but there's also a part of it that's actually quite challenging for her. And part of the thing that she finds it really difficult is the way that businesses treat people in the UK. She finds it very, very difficult. And I'll give you a real world example, right? So at some point, some of you may actually even meet my mum. She'll probably come over to one of our workshops. And she's a very formidable woman. Absolutely. Pretty fierce when you piss her off. And it's quite easy to do that in a shop or restaurant by basically just being a little bit rude if you are serving her. And we were in TK, remember this, absolutely nailed on, right? We were in TGI Fridays. And she had a Sprite. And she said to the guy, excuse me over here, it's flat. Would you change it? And the guy picks it up, takes a sip out of it and puts it down and says, it tastes okay to me. And I just thought, oh God, here we go. You could almost see the top of her head come off when she was just like, because it was all kinds of wrong. And she starts tearing into this guy and then it's like, oh, fuck it, whatever. I want to see your manager. Turns out he was the manager. And we she was like, no, that's enough. She got up and we left. We walked out. And it's one of those things that she said that would never, ever happen in America. It would never happen in America. She's furious, right? And part of you is kind of like, yeah, well, of course it would. And actually the reality of it is it wouldn't. And the part of the reason is because it's just endemic in culture. So my recent experiences in the US was, I'll give you, a different example, right? So here is a cucumber shot, right? Your average everyday American cucumber shot. Now, I didn't actually pay for this cucumber shot. And the reason I didn't pay for it is because I didn't ask for it. I asked the guy in the hotel for a ginger shot, right? Because Carolie's got me addicted to bloody drinking ginger in pints. As you see the YouTube channel, have a look at the YouTube channel, and you'll see me making one of our ginger shots that pulls your asshole through your armpit. Trademark. That's a tagline. Carolie's ginger shot. So strong, it will pull your asshole through your armpit. And, I quite fancied that. I was feeling a bit run down. I needed one of those. Said to the guy, can you do me a ginger shot? He's like, yeah, no problem. Comes back with cucumber. Says, sorry, sir, we don't have ginger shot, but I've done this cucumber. You can have it on the house. And it was just, do you know what? It was just a real small moment for me that actually really amplified the difference between customer service done really, really well. And then thinking back to the experience that I had, all those years ago in TGI Fridays. I'm sure maybe things have improved since then. I don't know. TGI Fridays and how completely far apart those two experiences were. Now, those sorts of things get me thinking, right? That from a business point of view, our job, your job and my job is to serve. That's what we're here for. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to create an experience for you, the best experience that I possibly can. You guys, I think, are in the same game, right? Your job is to create the best experience outcome for your clients as you possibly can. This is why when I bang on about the client journey and the client experience and have you designed it, it's a desire to look at how you can constantly improve that process, how you can consistently improve that journey, even if it's small steps, even if it's massive steps, and there's a lot of talk sometimes and people overdo it, right? And go, hey, let's create a 5-star journey. Let's create a 7-star customer journey. How about we just do a star? Let's start with 1, right? What does that look like? And are we doing that? So I want you guys to have a think about it and sharing this, right? This experience that you've got. Share the worst customer experience that you have ever had, right? I want you to share it. Pop it in there. We'll talk through it, right? The worst customer experience you've ever had. How did it make you feel? How shit was it? Mine, I think probably, that was probably close enough to being the worst one. And it's probably close enough one my mum ever had. A manager taking a sip out of your own drink and then saying, no, it tastes okay to me. What are you supposed to do after that? What are you going to do? Drink it? Jesus, it was just wrong on so many levels. So, share with me your biggest experience. While you're thinking of that, I'm going to walk you through a journey, and a journey that I think is one of the best customer experiences or client journeys I have ever seen, right? One of the best client journeys I have ever seen. And here it is. Stand by for this one. This will blow your bloody mind, right? So, just opposite the Rockefellers in New York City is a shop called American Girl, right? And the American Girl shop is essentially a toy store. It's a toy store that specializes in the sale of the creepiest fucking girl dolls you are ever likely to see. Nowhere in the world will you ever see anything as weird and creepy as this. These things are about 1 foot high and, where you can see through yourself, right? These are shit gives you nightmares. And there's a whole store filled with them. And I would dare you to have a sleepover in there on Halloween. I reckon they make some good money out of that. But the thing that struck me about it is that it's quite an immersive experience. And if you think that you are a, 10-year-old girl, you'd lean into these sorts of things. Some of the messaging, the around it were, this one was, meet characters from history who show girls how to change the world with courage, resilience, and kindness. Meet characters from the history who show girls how to change the world with courage, resilience, and kindness. Some really incredible messages in all of that. But the other thing that struck me is look at the price of the bastards. $100. And that was with a discount. So these things were not cheap. But it was about, empowerment. It was, about, these creepy little dolls, extensions of a personality. And I actually quite liked that. But you're in this store, right? And the other things in this store, things that it could do, were, weirdly, is it had a hospital. Now, I couldn't tell whether or not the woman was joking or whatnot when she said that you could get Medicare for the doll. So you could pay monthly for insurance. I'm not sure she was joking. I kind of thought she was, but I'm not sure that she was joking. But, if you want to change the head or the hair on them, I think it costs you $50. And you can bring your doll in for a checkup. There is one in a wheelchair. You can have its eyes tested. It has a, scan, all these sorts of weirdness. Which, you think, you've got a doll's hospital. We used to have them, when I was a kid. But it was the salon that struck me as being the most unusual thing. The doll's hospital salon. That is a doll having its hair done. I shit you not. Now, the interesting thing is that you can book an appointment in the salon for your own child to have their hair and makeup done alongside the doll. There's a restaurant downstairs where you can have lunch with the doll. it's an entire world of creepiness. An entire world. But, if you're a 10-year-old, this is probably one of the most amazing things that you've ever seen ever. Now, for a grown-up, I thought it was a bit weird, but from a sales and marketing point of view, and I look at it from my business head point of view, that is how you build a brand, right? There's a community around all these sorts of things. They're not just going to have one of those dolls. Kids are going to have a few of them. There's a rucksack that you can put them in, that you can carry them around the world with, that has, it's just creating a connection between a kid and its toy, your partner, your friend for life. And I just thought that there was something about that was really, really cool. And hence why it sort of captured my imagination, and then I took photographs of it. Because it's a customer service journey that is so beautifully designed that you almost cannot help to spend. The upsell at the till was for a hairbrush for the doll, right? So, because the flip side of that is if you don't look after the head, it's 50 quid for the head. And the final element of this is you can actually have them custom made. So it looks like your kid, right? So your kid can have its twin as a doll, and you can get pajama sets for the doll and the matching set for the kid. All of those things, when you think about it, are absolutely incredible upsells. That is not a doll shop. That is not a toy shop. That is an emotional overload for a child. And you're going to feel like a really shitty parent if you come out of there having not spent some money. You're going to feel inadequate, guilty, worthless. That's how you'll feel. You'll feel worthless as a parent if you don't come out there having spent some money. And I know this because Percy wanted one of these for her birthday, and I felt it was almost like my duty as her father to pay for it. I know, weird or not, but that was the emotional impact that shop had on me. It was and it was all through the messaging in that store. That me looking at that store thinking, by buying one of these, I'm empowering my daughter, etc., etc. So it was, my responsibility, if you like, to bloody buy that doll. Seen off or what? How easy am I to bloody sell to? How easy am I to sell to? Holy shit. So, yeah. So I think, when you're looking at your customer journey, and I want you to really do this, okay, I say sometimes, be in business. And you can learn so much from the experiences that other companies create. And I learned so much just from, two trips into that shop, right? From both of those experiences on creating how you create an immersive experience, the impact that positive messaging has on the brain while you're in a shopping environment. That's powerful. Do not underestimate that. And I absolutely am not underestimating that. The impact that those positive messages had in that shop was really, really strong. So what messages are you dropping into your experience? How have you designed it? What emotion do you want to generate from someone? And I know for a fact that every single element of that journey has been designed. It's been designed. I know that for a fact. So yeah, you came back with one, right? Came back with what a big ass dolly. I'll find the picture and actually put it up before I go. But yeah, in my suitcase, it took up half my suitcase. So we have to design these things. If we leave this client journey to accident, it won't happen in the way that you expect to design it. Sometimes it's not difficult to do. That's why I think start with like a 1-star customer journey and then try and improve. Starting off with what's the best experience that we could possibly give. I think that has a place, but I like sometimes just get the basics right and then you can improve on it, because there's a lot of businesses that don't even have the basics right. I.e., if you are serving food, is it edible? Is it warm? That shit's just table stakes. When I say table stakes, what I mean is that, if you want to go and play, if you want to play blackjack or a game, on the side it says, what's the table stakes? What's the cost of entry? And for me, there are certain things that are cost of entry, and they're not, and they shouldn't really be used as USPs. So hi, welcome to this restaurant. We'd like to demonstrate. Thank you for coming in. We serve hot food. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. That's what I want, right? We serve hot, edible food. That's table stakes. There's a lot more to it than come from that. Amy, there we go. But yes, I think so. When you have spent the money, you feel amazing for having made that dream come true. Absolutely did. Felt really, it wasn't just about feeling amazing for making the dream come true, but I felt amazing for having been part of that empowering experience for my daughter. Don't underestimate that. Don't underestimate it.
I'm Michelle Worthington from Michelle Worthington Aesthetic Health in Sutton Coldfield in Birmingham. Started my business just shy of 12 months before I met Richard at Aesthetic Medicine Live, and my turnover was around about 12,000. Even through lockdown, I managed to grow my business. Through the second lockdown, I still managed to grow my business, and my turnover has now probably tripled. It's just going to the accountant soon, but I've gone from kind of looking sideways to just staying in my own lane and focusing on me and my business. So Aesthetic Entrepreneurs just gave me confidence to help grow my business. As a nurse, it's very hard to get out of a nursing mindset and get a business head on. So I'm very fortunate now that I've managed to leave the NHS. Richard has just helped me develop my sort of business aptitude, really, and given me the confidence to grow. I would say the main thing with having aesthetic entrepreneurs involved in my business is that I tend to work smarter, not harder. So I put my prices up. I've learned to know my worth and invest in myself, not the next bit of sort of new shiny equipment. And that's really helped sort of my business grow, because I was very like a bit of a magpie and I'd go for a nice new shiny object where actually I've got everything in place to grow already. I know often people think, what you're paying for a business coach, but actually having a business coach pays for himself. So yes, my direct debit goes out every month, but it actually tends to make you more accountable. Being involved in the matrix, having all the information to hand to help you grow, and also one of the main things that I have taken from being part of Aesthetic Entrepreneurs is that I'm no longer feeling isolated in the field of aesthetics. I've met like-minded people. We can put protocols together. We bounce ideas off each other. And yeah, I just feel like I'm no longer isolated. I've got a nice sort of field of people that I can work alongside.
Amy, I remember how waitress arguing with us at Harvesters in Lancing. We complained that my meal hadn't been very good, and she argued with me, saying she'd asked me how it was, but I'd not even had the chance to taste it when she asked me. Again, these are, it's just basics, right? Basic customer service. Why are you arguing with customers? Why do people feel the need to argue with clients? I get, I have done. But it depends on what the reason is. So I had a pretty bad experience in the aesthetics market with someone who was doing some work for me, and it cost a fair amount of money to get this job done. And in the end, I decided that it wasn't quite working for me, so I was no longer going to carry on with the project. It's just like, not saying it might work, it's not worked, but let's just pause it for a little bit. And when the bill came, it's like, right, pay up. I queried it. It's like, well, you know what? Did I really get total value for this? And what came back was, reams and reams of arguments about how this had happened. And how if I hadn't done this, or if I'd done that, this would have been better, etc., etc. And things just think is like, if it's before, it's an explanation. If it's afterwards, it's an excuse. So in the end, I just decided that, I can't be bothered with this. I'm never going to work with this person again, ever, or recommend them to anyone, because everything was great. But then as soon as I said I wasn't happy and wanted to end it, things got a little bit snippy. Your true nature starts to come forward a little bit when that happens. And the relationship was no longer viable. It was done. Now, on the other side of that is, have clients argued with me? Absolutely. Have I gone a little bit horns with some people? Yeah, I have. I've gone toe to toe. And do you know what? It didn't make me feel any better. And I never really won. There was no victory in it. So in hindsight, what I do is I just say, do you know what? Thanks very much. All the best. And we're done. I've had people working, I've done great work with, suddenly decide to say, do you know what? I'm not paying you. Right. And, we have a month's notice with pretty much everything that we do. It's just a sign of respect. If you want to walk away from one of the projects, that's absolutely fine. Just get month's notice, 3 months if you're in the growth program, because, there are costs involved in booking venues and that kind of stuff. There's an investment from my side, right? Same as there's an investment in your side for treatments. So it's just a bit of a sign of respect for me, as a coach, as a provider, to give me a month's notice. Some people choose not to do that and they'll just cancel it and go, sorry, Rich, whatever. I go, okay, 9 times out of 10, okay. But I will never, ever, ever work with that person again. Never. The door is closed. The way is shut. Thanks very much for your help, Rich. Totally respect. Here, we'll pay the notice period. And of course, you respect me. Thank you very much for that. The door remains open. And that's, for me, is the way that this works now. I don't get into arguments with clients about this sort of stuff. It's really not worth it. So from a customer service point of view, I stand at a high level and go, it's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. But the flip side is, don't knock this door again. It won't open for you. And I think that's fair enough. So, went off a little bit of a tangent there, but, you have to have boundaries for people, absolutely. But I don't really see the benefit in really fighting with clients. The worst situation you can get into is when clients are suing you. So yeah, something to bear in mind with that. So again, design it. What is your complaint and conflict policy? I've just pretty much told you mine. My policy is to avoid it because it doesn't benefit me, it doesn't benefit clients. There's probably whole sorts of shit going on in their world, but they've demonstrated a lack of respect. So therefore I can no longer work with them. Simple as that, so again, design your own one. I don't think we do that. And if we did, it would make life a lot easier, and especially if it's in your terms and conditions and it's upfront and transparent, it would make life a lot easier. So come on, there's a few of you watching now. So, what else experiences have you had? Just give me some positive experiences. When have you been delighted? When have you had an exceptional experience? When has someone dusted fairy dust all over the experience? And you've just gone, holy shit, that was amazing. Oh my God, I'm so completely blown away. I don't know how to speak. I cannot speak. I am so delighted with that customer service I've just had. Oh God, when have you really found one and really enthused about it? I just told you one there, just a very simple cup of, pure juiced cucumber. That for me was a great customer service. I really, really liked that. I like it when people notice how I'm feeling, especially in, it makes me feel good when people kind of respond to something I haven't even said. So, for example, when you're tired, would you like to sit down? When you've just come in from somewhere and it's pissed down with rain and you're wet, a little bit helps sometimes, so it doesn't have to be much. You're carrying bags. Just, hey, look, put that here. Let me help you. Is there service involved in all of this? You're a guy who looks like, a lot of them is just down to sort of, you're a guy who looks like he could use a drink. I've heard that one before. And I'm like, fucking hell, yeah, I really would. Right. What do you normally have of that? Boom, that one's on me. Wow. Thank you very much. Happens, it has happens rarely, but that little bit of understanding for me goes a long way. Just acknowledging that I'm a human being under all of this, who might be having a bit of a shitty day. That helps a lot. Just a smile, a high five. All the guys I met in New York, a lovely guy called Josh, says that you can't give someone a high five without smiling. And this is one of the things he does is see someone's like feeling a little bit out, just hey guy, give a high five. And it does work actually, because he high-fived me and I couldn't stop smiling. It was such a lovely experience. But anyway, so is the US great at it, or are we just shit? Well, like I said, I think the truth is somewhere down the middle. But we can improve. I think there's definitely maybe embrace a little bit of your inner American and design a customer journey that has moments of delight in it. Give us a couple of examples of moments of delight for me, and then we'll close up for Thursday. But my message to you is, don't just write it all off as, hey man, it's just really American. Don't write it off as like that shit wouldn't work over here. Why not? Why is being nice not going to work? Why is that seen as fawning or insincere? I think, yes, of course it can be insincere, but you know what? You guys aren't. If that's how, if you set your stall out to just be kind, be nice, supportive of your clients, to serve them in the best way possible, and in that means you give them some free shit and help them and treat them like human beings, and they actually like that and respond to it, then maybe that's a good thing. Definitely don't take their drink and take a sip of it and go, it tastes all right to me. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that around my mum. That shit just does not work. It should kill you. There is a book that you might want to read. And for those of you who, you're finding this subject interesting and you'd like to know a little bit more about how you can do it, how you can dig into it, I can recommend this book. It's called The Experience Economy. And, more and more of of our client journey needs to be focused on experiences and transformations, not product and service. You may have heard me talk about this a lot. And this book actually is really, really useful for good tips and helping to reframe your thought process about it. I got this, it's on Amazon. B. Joseph Pine II, James Gilmore, called The Experience Economy. Apple Store, Cirque du Soleil, ING, Direct Cafe, the Geek Squad. Do these offerings conjure up images of mere goods and services, or do they invoke something more, something visceral? Ooh, must know more. Right, so go and check that book out, because I really enjoy it, and as you can see, it's never that far away from me because I do refer to it quite a lot. So here's a reason we do this, right? And why go to all the effort? Why bother? Why do all of that? Why have a cake on their birthday? Why help someone out when they're in the shit? Why would you do all of this? Why, make sure that someone got something to give to someone on Christmas, even though it costs you money, it costs you more money. Why would you do it? Why go the extra mile? Surely you could just survive. It's a rhetorical question, but the answer is it's worth it in my mind. It's absolutely worth it. And we're all in service industries. we're all in service industries. And I think we owe it to ourselves and to our customers to put the best into this as we can, as we can, right? And I don't think the bar is particularly high in this market. I really don't. I think it's actually, quite easy to stand out through good customer care. I think it's easy to fake it and it feel disingenuous. But at the end of the day is if you actually give a shit and if you do honestly actually care about your clients, let it shine through. Don't feel disingenuous about it. Don't feel dumb. I'm gonna make this bigger. Right? There we go. Because it matters. It's a kindness, and it is. But what I'm gonna say is don't worry about feeling dumb about it, because people do actually give a shit. People do notice. I notice. I think your clients notice. In our, in the great United Kingdom, I think it needs to be focused on more. We can demand better customer service by giving better customer service. We work really hard for our money, right? You guys work as hard as I do for your money. So when you spend it with someone, you want that to be respected. I do. I want someone to acknowledge how bloody hard I've worked to get the money to give that to them. I don't want them to just take it off me and go, yeah, cheers, easy, fucking dick. That would really annoy me. So if that's how I feel spending my money, then making my money, I kind of want to make sure that I get the same experience for you guys. And we don't always get it right. But we're learning and improving and getting better and better and better. And again, with Coralie being on board has really helped us to focus on that. It's one of the things she's very, very clear on. We provide the best we can, the best products, the best service we can provide, best programs. If we're going to do it best. The best stationery. I do joke about the stationery, but the stationery that we're getting is shit hot. Again, totally over my head. For me, a book's a book, but, to you guys, it's super important. She's picked up on that, and we have hardcore Martha Brooks stationery. The looks on people's faces yesterday when they opened up their stationery packets. I noticed these things, but goes over my head a little bit, but there was a big wow factor definitely there. So the reason we do it is because it helps your business, right? The better you are at it, the better your retention. The better we are at it, the better it helps your referrals, your reviews, your word of mouth, all these sorts of things. It just helps your business grow. Kelly, making a little note of the chats that you had with your clients, their holiday, family info wedding that they went to. It shows that you care and remembered. Again, brilliant. And all these little things, right, are just, as I call them, unexpected or spontaneous moments of delight. Unexpected moments of delight. We just create these little moments where we make someone smile. And think about your business, think about your journey, and just think about how many moments can you create where if someone's sat and they're having this discussion, someone's out there talking to someone and they're talking about you. Are they talking about you as the guy who picked up a cup of flat Sprite, took a sip out of it, put it down, and said, that tastes all right to me? Or are they talking to you as the person who, couldn't quite give you what you wanted, but gave you something and didn't charge you for it? And, two totally different experiences. Which one do you want to be? So there we go. So to summarize, is the US great at it, or are we just really shit? I actually think, it's pretty much down the middle. Yes, the US customer service culture is huge and we are learning slowly. But I think that as an aesthetic entrepreneur, you can accelerate that process. So I want to start hearing stories about how you've created these moments of delight. Guys who are in the Entrepreneurs Club, I'm going to start pushing quite hard to start hearing these stories. Every day, maybe share an experience of how you've made someone's day. Because I bet you put that's going to make you feel really happy too. If you share that about how you made someone get someone's day, it's going to make you really, really happy.